Alright, welcome back everybody to the second part of this tutorial series, and this time we will have a look at adding some little white hair into the beard and also at some advanced shading of our hair. So definitely stay tuned and let's get to it. Let's start off this second part by creating the second particle system that this beard consists of, and that's those little white hair you saw in the first part on the Spartan character reference. Let's click on this button, add a new slot, and actually choose this older one we already created, and just click on this tiny little 2 button. It is actually signifying that this system is used by 2 slots at the same time, the one we have active and the one above. If we went on, did not click the 2 button, and edited this one, the previous beard system would change as well, which we of course don't want. We want this one to be unique. Let's also jump into the material menu here, add a slot, and do the very same thing with our beard material. So click on the little 2 button and make this new material unique, calling it something like beard white. Back in our beard particles section, select your white hair particles, and in the render tab, choose the white material to be the one this system is using. Now of course they are not actually white yet, so let's correct that. Back in the materials menu, switch the mode to direct coloring, and in the color section, make the hair almost pure white. Well, something seems to be happening, but the white little guys are not really visible yet. They are here, but my hunch is they are now too thin to be visible. Let's raise the diameter here, even more than we did for the brown beard. And 2.5 and let's say 1 will do. While we're at it, let's of course not forget to set the density here to only be active at the places where we previously painted our vertex group. Ha! That's better. While I like how these little white hair are sticking out of the beard, let's comb them a little. Just like we did last time, comb them downwards here along the mouth and on the temples. These hair can actually be in a state of much bigger chaos than the previous beard system we've made. So I even increased this point here to make the clumping at the roots less prominent. On the other hand, I don't want them to stick out so much. So I think in this case, we can deactivate the Wave King, but it's really up to you. Experiment with what you like best. Alright, now let's unhide the other beard particles and see everything rendered. And yeah, I kinda like it. Though let's quickly groom it a little bit more, because I don't fancy how the hair comes out of this upper lip area. So just jump into the particle edit mode, and with the cut tool, let's start deleting some of these here and here. Now this looks better, and we can also play around with some of the values for the particle system, because I don't really like how long all these children particles are. You can shorten it here as well. Yeah, I think it looks more natural. It gives it more randomness. Unhide the hair system and have a look at how it looks. Not too bad, I'd say. But there is one thing we definitely have to do, and that is to give the beard shader a facelift. Hair lift. You know, make it better. So let's have a look at some advanced shading for our hair. Select the beard material, and in the shader editor, let's focus on the Principled Hair BSDF. There is actually one very handy node when it comes to hair, which allows you to do great things when shading particles like this. It is called, of all names, Hair Info. And I fell in love with it instantly when I discovered it. Basically, just like with Geometry Node for textures, you can control various regions of your hair and plug in different nodes to mix different materials, which we will do right now. So bring in a color ramp, because everything is more awesome with a color ramp node, and then mix in color node, and here in the first socket set some really distinguishable colors like pink and then bright blue. So this will be very visible. And now when you plug this intercept socket into the vector of the mix node and that into the color, something awesome starts to happen. And it gets better when we use this color ramp. The colors start popping up. Limit the edge points to bring out the contrasts, and yeah, groovy. Now I of course do not want to make a rainbow colored beard for my Spartan character. This was purely for demonstrative purposes, So let's change it to some nice brownish colors, then sample the top color to the bottom one and make it a different shade. Maybe darker still, like this. Yeah, I like that. You can of course try out different sockets than I did. For example, this thickness value, which will mix the colors based on the thickness we added in the hair shape settings, or even use the random value that will mix the colors randomly for each particle. But that I will leave up to your experimentation. Looking at the white hair, I decided they could go with a bit more length on the chin here. So I switched to particle editing for a bit and then made them look like a teenager's first beard. And when the children got activated, it did not look as intended, more like some broom bristles got mixed in, but all I needed to do was to comb them some more, and then I decreased the diameter in the hair shape. You can activate your kink effects if you want. And even though these are not technically long hair, this option might make the result a bit less like bristles. Okay, maybe I've made them too long after all, so let's shrink these on the chin back a bit. Depending on how you like the result, you can always go back to hair shape and play around with the diameter. And with that, I think the white hair started looking much more natural, though maybe too bright for my taste. So I went back into the shader, and in the color, I dialed it down a bit to be more gray than white. Also, lowering the roughness to lower number might be a good idea. I think last time I've overdone it a bit with the 6 number. You can also always switch to melanin concentration and lower the melanin to get a similar result. Finally, after some additional grooming, I call this part of the hair system done. Next time we will have a look at adding those long, combed back hair, something like Geralt would wear. And don't forget, you can always support the project over at Patreon, where now you can get all these hair presets as a special patron gift. So, have a great time, and I can't wait to see you in part 3 of this series. Until next time, Martin out.